Hi everybody, here's a little video on how to work with simple color correction. What I'll get you to do is to open up that image of a 1939 MG TB that I took at the Owl's Head Transportation Museum in Maine. When I went down there, I'm an MG fan, I guess you could say, and when I went down there, I realized that because I had gone on my motorcycle, I didn't bring my high quality camera. I brought a pretty cheap camera with me, and I realized that I didn't have enough light when I was taking the pictures. Now, there's only so much I can do with this image because it is at 100%. The original is actually quite a bit bigger, but I'll have some graininess to the picture. But for the purposes of color correction, I'd like to show you how to brighten this thing up a little bit. We could do that with brightness and contrast, but also to adjust the colors if the colors are not really true to what I had seen with my eyes. So, without further ado, let's go with it. The first thing you want to do is when you open up an image like this and you want to mess around with it. Okay, so there are announcements over here at our school. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. The first thing you want to do is you want to make a copy of it. So you want to duplicate the layer, and we'll work with the copy for now. And that's just so that I can keep the original intact in case I want to go back to it after I mess something up. But anyways, what we'll do here is we'll go into something here called colors and color balance. Let's go into color balance first. That's quite a simple color correction. And what you can do here is you can work with your shadows, your midtones, and your highlights. So the darkers, the middle colors, let's say, and the middle lights, and stuff that's bright, like the license plate here would be a highlight. But we'll stick with the midtones for now, and then you can adjust your colors just by sliding your cyan to red. Okay. So you'll notice it's not really looking great here. It was probably pretty good right from the get-go, right from the beginning. That wasn't too bad as it was. But you can adjust your colors a bit this way too. If you notice that you need, I don't know, more greens in your picture. For those of you who probably your teachers, but your teachers remember film cameras. And if you want it to take nature shots, oftentimes you'd take photos with Fujifilm because they highlighted the greens really well, and if you wanted more balanced colors you chose Kodak. So this isn't looking too bad. Let's just say I like it, and I'm going to click OK. And so I've done those adjustments so far. While we're in this video, and this may take us through a couple more pages here of course content, but I'll just continue a little bit here. Why don't we go into brightness and contrast. Let's brighten it up just a little bit and see how that looks. See, it's starting to wash out the color. Okay, it's starting to wash out the color here. But brightening it up a little bit may have helped. The same thing with the contrast. So less contrast, more contrast. So you just play around with it. Your eyes will decide what looks good. And I'm going to click OK. I won't worry about the levels thing here. So we've made some color adjustments. Is it looking better? Well, that's up to you. We're going to go over to levels now. Now levels it looks complicated, but it's really just messing around with it and using your eyes. Usually what you do is you'll take your input levels here. We'll just go with your value to begin with, your blacks and your whites, and we usually move this arrow over here to the beginning of this line where the black starts. Same thing here. We've got our mid colors here. So we usually bring that over here. Hey, look, the picture's starting to look pretty good, minus the graininess. And the whites, we can take them down and bring them over here. So that's too bright, right? And notice it's adjusting that middle arrow. But that's not too bad. That's not too bad. And I can play with this one too independently and see how that works. Then I can work with my colors. Now usually when I work with my colors like this, I'll do this. I'll go and edit these settings as curves. So click on that. And again, we're just messing around. we're here in the values so that we didn't, that's kind of what we were just doing with those arrows, but this time it's on a curve. I can slide these little dots up and down. Click on red. If you want to play with the reds, you can drag your curve up. Now that's way too red, right? Look at that. That's not enough red, so I'm taking reds out of the equation. It probably wasn't too bad to begin with, but again, it's just an adjustment that you're making. Your eyes will know when it looks good. Play with the greens. Too much green, too little green. That's what happens when we take green out. So you can adjust your greens up and down. Again, it wasn't too bad to begin with. And the blues. So you'll decide whether or not the picture's looking good or not. But I'll end the video here, and in the next video I'll concentrate on what the course content page was looking for. But this is a little primer in working with simple color correction under under colors. We did the color balance, did we? We did the brightness and contrast, and we worked with the levels, which is the same as curves over here is what we worked with. End of the video, just play around with an image. If you have an image of a, before I go, if you have an image of a nature shot, something that you took outside maybe at dawn or at dusk and you didn't have enough light, or the colors are kind of washed out in the picture, choose that picture and play with it, and you'll see some stark contrasts between what you had originally and what you can do with it after the fact.